All right. We are live. We are live. And I'm excited to be live again. I haven't been with you guys for a number of weeks. So just setting up, making sure that I could see you. And sometimes it doesn't always work out. I'm not sure why. I see the comment generally when I come off. But it's such a pleasure to be with you guys again today. And today is going to be a good one. Nice. Okay, I'm seeing it. On. Great. Lovely. Nice. So we on. Okay, so welcome. We are back live after a couple of weeks hiatus. And I want to share with you some amazing results from a survey analysis we did. So we are going to jump right into it. And I am numbering these episodes, or I don't know what to call them, right? The number of weeks we've been on. So I just want to say welcome to our Just to Lead live. And I think we're at week 9 now, or episode 9. All right. And for those who join it for the first time or may see the live for the first time, I want to say welcome. Thank you for joining us. And if it's not your first time, welcome back. Thank you for coming back, right? I completely appreciate you staying with me. And I really hope that the content that I have been sharing is useful to you on your leadership journey, even wherever you may be. It may be a personal journey, organizational journey. I really hope it helps you. All right. So I am all about practical leadership, the practice of leadership, not just the theoretical side, but leadership where the rubber hits the road and utilizing all the theories and the science to help us to build strategies that are effective and relevant to where you lead in the stage of the organization, the people around you, the industry, which is why today's own is exciting for me, because we're getting to delve into some data, which then helps us even as it is we navigate this leadership landscape. All right. So you can let me know where you're chiming in from. It's absolutely a pleasure to have you on. All right. So we're gonna delve straight in. Oh, I didn't introduce myself. I should introduce myself. I always should do that. All right. So I am Safia, leadership strategist and CEO of Safia Group. People call me Safi, but really what it is I find that when we work with clients or work with people, they become like family to us, because we become very invested into their success. All right. And all the decisions that we would make, advice that we would give, strategies that we would develop is ready to see how people succeed. All right. So definitely, if it is you want to know more about us, you definitely go to the website, or you can follow me on one of the social media platforms, even here on LinkedIn. All right. So that is out of the way. So, I generally do a question of the day. All right. And the question of the day today is, and the reason why I'm sharing this, I'm going to let you know, I get this question all the time. All the time. How did I make the transition from a corporate executive to an entrepreneur? I can't tell you how many times persons have asked me this, so much so that I developed a program specifically to help persons make that transition. And I run that program once a year, because that is not necessarily what I do. All right. I can only share the lessons that I have learned along the way. But the reason why I'm sharing this particularly today as a question of the day is to invite you to AFET's membership meeting on Thursday, this Thursday, the 29th of February. And AFET stands for, if you don't know, the Association of Female Executives of Trinidad and Tobago. And it's going to be via Zoom. So you don't have to be in Trinidad in order to attend. It's not one of their in-person meeting sessions. It's via Zoom. And we're going to talk about some key things. For example, when you are making the transition from an executive, or even from, let's say you're not an executive, as an employee, and you're coming into entrepreneurship, there's some key things that you need to know that a lot of people miss that make that transition very, very difficult. I'm going to talk about my experience in being in business all the way back, even way before I did it this time, back in 2009, where I lost everything, including my home, while being a single mother. So I'm really going to delve into some of those experiences and the learnings that I took out of it. Now, it's for females, it's for women, all right? So what I will say, though, is if you're a woman, sign up. And what I understand is that more than half the spaces have already been gone, booked. So if it is you want to attend, you need to sign up soon. I think I posted, I made a post about it. I shared a post from one of the board members. I used to be on the board as well. Some fantastic woman, phenomenal woman. So if it is you want to be in the room, get in the room. It doesn't matter if you're in Trinidad and Tobago or not, get into the room, register quickly. If it is you are a male or you may not be able to attend on Thursday and you would like to hear more about that journey, about my experience making the transition from a corporate executive to an entrepreneur, let me know. Based on the kinds of response I get, I will then probably have one privately where men can attend, or perhaps even we could have a discussion with Afet to have a part 2 or something like that. But certainly give some feedback if it is something you're interested in hearing about if you cannot attend on Thursday. But my encouragement to you is to get registered and attend on Thursday. And we will be there intimately so you can ask your questions and all of that, and I'll be happy to answer. If you can't attend or you are a male and you're interested in the journey, let me know and we will do something separately. And it would be of no charge. I'm always happy to share my learnings with persons. All right, so that is what I'm going to say today about the question of the day, because truly, while I focus on leadership questions, and actually as we unfold in March and in April, I'm actually going to do some questions on the financial side as it relates to leadership and also as it relates to business, because I get a lot of questions there as well. But this is definitely a question I get quite often since I've started my entrepreneurial journey. All right. And I'm going to be candid, I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to be open. I think that is also important. And anybody who knows me knows that's my personality. And so I would be happy to share where I would have failed, where I would have made mistakes, just to help somebody not to don't do that. All right. I'm happy to share that honestly. I mean, if persons have a bad response state after, well, tough. But I think it's important for me to be honest so that people can know what to expect and how to navigate it. All right. So that is what I'm going to say about that. All right. In terms of the question for the day. So it's really an invitation because I'm going to be answering the question I'm going to be answering that question in detail on the Affect meeting on Thursday. All right. And again, if it is you are a male and interested in hearing more about the journey and the learnings, or if it is you are a female and you're not able to attend on Thursday and it's something that you are interested in, let me know. And as I said, I can hold something privately for us to do it on Zoom, or we can have a discussion with the organization to probably have a part 2. All right. So yeah. So that's what I would say about that. All right, so I'm going to jump in now to the meat of the live, and again, I'm going to aim to finish by 12:30. All right, and I know people log in from different parts of the world. I get the comments, and then I have persons who reach out to me. So I know sometimes it doesn't always fall within somebody's appropriate time. So some people are driving, or sometimes they may be in different places, or they might be in a meeting. I have to look at it after. That's fine. So I try not to go beyond half an hour. And so really what we're talking about today is what this survey revealed. And it's a survey, and I'll explain all of this. Really, one of the aspects of the results shows what leaders in different industries have in common. All right, what leaders in different industries have in common. And I think this is so critical, and that's why data is so important, because organizations that fall into a particular industry, you will want to know who are the likely types of leaders to be attracted to my organization, what are the likely strengths they're going to come with, the pitfalls they're going to come with, and how do I strategize to prepare for it and make the best of it. And also, it will also solve some of the mysteries as to why you may be experiencing certain problems in your organization and really how to solve it. All right. So I find it to be very, very fascinating. And some of the things that we think may be on an individual level, I realize that it's profile. It's profile. And I'm going to give you the background so you can understand the context within which I'm saying that. All right. So then you can then use that information accordingly, however you may want to use it. All right. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm just I always try to see this thing real time and it doesn't happen. Forgive me. All right. So let's jump in. So I'm going to remove this from here and I'm going to be on screen most of the time. because I want to give you some really good information. So some background. So this information, this data that we would have gathered came from the executive leadership assessment. So anybody who knows me or may have had the opportunity to do the assessment or hear me speak before, you know we have an assessment. It's proprietary to Safia Group. We would have developed it from the ground up. It is based on decades of research. All right. And it is profound in what it reveals. And what it seeks to reveal is the inherent leadership profile, not necessarily style. It goes beyond style. All right. So it's not just what you may do as a leader, which generally is your style, your approach, but what it also shows is how you are likely to be viewed and how you are likely to impact your environment, be it your team, others, and even the wider organization, depending on where you serve. So me being a leadership strategist, having studied leadership, studied the different researches and the studies that are out there, and also based on my now, I think it's 18 years now of executive leadership, my own experience, bringing all of that together, we were able to develop this assessment. We actually have 2 more right now in development. I'll probably get to it or not get to it on the live today. But what we found is that as we developed the assessment, it went deeper than strengths and weaknesses. It went into likely pitfalls when leading. And it also speaks to the likely strategies that will work for you. It even speaks about how people are likely to view you. It speaks about the likely origin of your style, because once you are able to uncover the origin of why you lead the way you are lead, it is from there you are able to make the changes. And people develop it sometimes from childhood, sometimes from the experiences with their first boss or the most influential person in their life, that first exposure. And so you may not even realize that you are doing certain things and where it comes from. And so the assessment seeks to unveil all of that, and also the other profiles you work well with and the other profiles that you are likely to end up with difficulties with. And the thing is, it helps because when you are able to understand your profile and then you're able to understand the profile of another executive that you have to work with, or even if you're a CEO, one of the executives reporting to you, or if you're an executive, one of the managers reporting to you, you are able then to understand where there is going to be friction, how to avoid it, how to navigate it, and how to make the best of the relationship. Or what is going to show you is how your inherent challenges of your profile will be assisted by the inherent strengths of another profile. And that's how you guys may work well together. There are 10 profiles, and you're not going to find this anywhere else. It is proprietary to Safia Group, as I said, and it is incredible, right? And so you're going to search it up, and you're not going to find it anywhere else other than by us. Now, when I speak with leaders and I ask them, what's your leadership style or approach? Most of them would say transformational. Off the bat, many people talk about transformational, because we have the transformational, transactional, or you're going to hear them speak about autocratic, democratic, laissez-faire. Let me tell you, that is dated, all right? And people are far more diverse than that, all right? And also people are adaptable. So sometimes you may find someone who can be democratic, and when the time arises, they can be autocratic at the flip of a button. So it's not as simple as that. And so we have 10 executive leadership profiles: the mentor, the visionary, the president, the facilitator, the empowerer, the influencer, the achiever, the autopilot, the bureaucrat, the chief. We have had results in each of the 10. There are some profiles that came up more frequently than others. We launched it in 2021. We have been rated with a 99.6% accuracy by the participants when we put all of it together. And so by now we have had hundreds of participants who would have participated, and the number continues to climb. And so for those participants who conducted the assessment, the briefing session after, we would have gone deeper into their results and taken it and shown them how to apply it to where they are right now and how to get the best results in their career, for their teams, or even for their organization. What we did the analysis on the results that we got. And I want to share some key findings with you, specifically to do with what styles popped up most in certain industries. All right. What was also telling is when we spoke to the leaders in those organizations, the issues that they reported within the organization, so you may hear them speak about an organizational wide issue, they tended to be the same strengths and challenges of the profile that was most prolific in the organization. So where there were a high number of executives and managers with a specific style, a specific profile, the strengths and challenges of that profile also pervaded the organization. And people didn't realize that. They just saw it as an organizational wide challenge. But really, it was emanating from a high number of the same profile. That is very useful information. And so now I'm going to share the information. So what we would have done, actually, we compiled it into a report called the Leadership Insights Report. I'm actually going to start to do quarterly reports. So this one is the February report. The next time we're going to do it is May. And this particular issue, which is the first issue, is called Leadership Echo, because we are actually showing how the leadership profile reverberates throughout an organization and what that means for the organization. It's absolutely free. If you're interested in getting a copy, comment under this video or send me a private message and we'll get it to you. It's absolutely free. You can have the report. We're just putting the finishing touches on it. All right. So let me dive into some of the data. So what I'm going to talk about actually is the top 3 leadership profiles. So when we did the assessments, we realized that these were the results that people got the most. The top 3 are the mentor style, followed by the visionary style, followed by, and I'm saying style, but it's really profile, the mentor profile, the visionary profile, and the president profile. And I'm going to go a little bit more into that. So, and I'm sorry I don't have up that little graph to show you. It's in the report. But what we found is that the mentor style, the mentor profile, was most found in human service industries. And those human service industries included healthcare, social services, childcare. When it came to helping other people, helping professions, the mentor style was most found. And the thing is, the mentor profile is that profile that is very strong on individual mentorship. So the mentor profile struggles when it is they have large teams, because their inherent approach is to cause each person to grow individually, and they become very invested in that process. If they have large teams, they tend to struggle. All right? So span of control for the mentor profile really should be smaller. This mentor profile was mainly found among middle managers and a few senior managers. Now, one of the challenges in specifically of the mentor profile, there's one other profile that has a similar challenge, but particularly the mentor profile, is that they burn out very quickly, because again, their style is to invest into people individually. They experience a lot of time hijacking. So they're going to start off with one thing at the start of the day, then somebody comes to them with a challenge. It could be a work challenge or it could be a personal challenge. They are going to see it in naturally as their role to be able to nurture, mentor this person to a better place. That takes time. Sometimes they lose track of time. And so fast-paced environments are very stressful to the mentor style, the mentor profile. And so in those organizations where the mentor profile was most prolific among the executives and managers, what they found is that they had very dedicated staff. They know their staff is with them, ride or die staff. Staff go in the long haul, even when things are difficult, budget is low, the staff will remain. But what they also found is that they had company-wide challenges of burnout, which are also strengths and challenges of the mentor profile. So you're following me, right? And you're following what's happening. And you're following me which industries are seeing this. All right. And that is why when it is we develop leadership strategy, it's not just coaching, it was a one-through strategy. If you understand what your challenge is and you understand the root cause of your challenge, then you're able to build an effective strategy. Inside of a healthcare space or social service or childcare or any other helping space, I'm pretty sure we're also going to find this in charitable organizations or NGOs that are set up specifically for charity. When it comes to helping people, that helping profession, you're going to find a lot of the mentor profile persons are drawn to that space. When people are drawn to that space, if it is highly populated by this kind of profile, it then pervades the organization. All right, so you want to pay careful attention to that. Now, let's move on to the other style, the visionary profile. Sorry if I keep switching between style and profile. It is a profile which includes the style. All right. So the visionary profile. Now, this profile was mainly found in the fast-moving goods industry, the FMGs. All right. So specifically, what we would have found based on the persons who would have done the assessment, food and beverage, manufacturing, and retail. We saw in those three industries, the visionary profile leader was mainly found. And they were mainly found among the senior managers and some middle managers. All right. Now, the strength of the visionary profile is that they are optimistic about the future and they are always future focused. They will drag people out of the dark ages into the future. They are very futuristic, very modern, future focused leaders. And they are focused also on consistent improvement. They absolutely loathe, they absolutely hate stagnation. And the statement, well, we have always done it like that, is like the bane of their existence. Right? Now, the thing is, one of the main challenges of the visionary profile is that because they are so heavily focused on the future, sometimes they don't pay as much attention to the present challenges and understanding that you have to get over some of these present challenges in order to really attack the future the way you would want to. And also, some of their team members don't feel heard. And those team members, if it is you're a CEO and you have the visionary profile, your executives would not feel heard. If you're an executive and you have the visionary profile, your managers or supervisors under you would not feel heard. And so what would have happened is that, yes, they love the future focus. Yes, they love your optimism, but it's like, connect with me. We have to deal with problems right here, right now. But that becomes boring. That becomes like a broken record to the visionary style. We need to just get over this quickly and keep moving forward. Also, they are not, because of that, they are not very strong on this individual development like the mentor. So they look at big picture. All right. And they tend to do well with professionals who are experienced, who are experts in their own right, and who know how to function and what to get done. They want to be able to develop the big picture. All right, we dish it out. We have our plan and our strategy, and everybody run towards the goal. We check in with everybody, and we measure progress. That is their preference. Anybody who needs development, who's under a visionary profile, will struggle. They would give you they would mentor you. However, it's not their strongest suit. It's not where they prefer to spend most of their time. And so what we found in organizations where this style or this profile was most prolific was that the organization had a culture of consistent improvement, always going for the next thing, always seeing how we could improve processes, technology, how our people can go on a next training course, how they can keep improving. But what they found was that leaders were sometimes aloof, the staff in the organization. They found that they were not always connected with reality and were not really paying attention to the limitations of the reality of the present. All right. And that caused some of the staff members to feel jaded. So yeah, we're talking about doing all of this, but we can't fix this little problem that is right in front of us. That is the type, that is the tenor of some of the feedback from the staff. And it matches quite exactly to the challenges of a visionary profile. All right. The last one I would share on today, which I told you the top three, the third one, so we had the mentor profile, we had the visionary profile. The third one was the president profile. All right. Interestingly, the president profile was most found in financial services or the financial services sector. So where we found this president style were mainly in banking, credit unions, and professional services. All right. And they were mainly found among senior managers. Rarely, there were some, but not enough to mention. They were found at other levels, mainly senior managers and CEOs. There, as I said, there were a few at other levels, but not very many. All right. And the main strength of the president profile was that they were highly adaptable. They are highly adaptable people. These are the leaders who are almost like chameleons. If this situation requires me to be autocratic and to put down my foot and to say, this is what we are doing, they have no problems doing that, no sweat off of their back. But at the same time, they are secure enough to switch their style to democratic when everybody needs to have a voice and they need to get buy-in and input from everybody. All right. They're very adaptable and very flexible in how they approach situations, and they're very strategic when it comes to problem solving. All right. Now, when it comes to the president profile, within the organization, they can also be accused of being overly involved at levels below them. So even though it might be the senior level, senior managers and above, they got involved with issues at the management level or even below. Because one of the things with that profile is that they also know how to do some of the things of the people reporting to them. So when it is you're taking long, or if it is you're moving to, you're not doing it properly, or if it is I do it, if it is you do it and you have to bring it to me to review, and I have all of these corrections, but I do it myself, or we have a deadline to meet, and if it is you do it, you're just going to take too long. This is one of the things that the president style does. So what I often recommend to this profile is that you remain as that think tank. You remain as the brains of the operation. Remain strategic and get your executors, get your implementers, get your hands and legs, get your feet to run. All right, because you want to solve the problem. And if solving the problem means I'm going to roll up my sleeves and delve into there, then that's what I'm going to do. However, that creates its own dependency syndrome by the people who report to you. And that is a whole big thing, right? So what we found is that organizations where this profile was prolific, they had the benefit of really high achievement. In fact, most times they exceeded the strategic targets. All right, they exceeded the strategic targets. But the cost was the leaders were becoming mentally and physically tired from always being both the brains and the legs. They had to do everything. They have to think about the strategy and then execute, because when they came onto the wire, their people weren't producing the way they wanted them to produce. All right. And so sometimes when you see in banking or some other financial service, you see them hitting their targets because they're all about the numbers. But what I realize, this insight shows us that it's also, yes, it's about the numbers, but it's also about the types of leaders that are there and how they drive success. How they drive success. And the thing is it that the industry forms them into the style or forms or informs their approach and style, or is it the next way around? Because there's so many of them congregating in a particular industrial organization, the organization functions the way it does. I believe it's the latter. So the question is, after dealing with the mentor, the visionary, the president, and we talked about, just to recap, the mentor, we more found them in human services industries. The visionary, we more found them in FMGs, the fast-moving good industries. And the president, we more found them in financial services. The question for you is, what is the profile of the leaders in your organization? Do you know? And it's critical to know because it's actually impacting, as we are seeing, the organization's culture and ultimately their results. Sun Tzu, who wrote The Art of War, he said, military intelligence is the key to war. Without it, you cannot win. And there are organizations who are flying blind and they do cookie cutter training. Those things don't really bring success. It's important to start at that assessment level so you can know what you're dealing with so that you can be more targeted in your approach. All right. So we're at the 12:30 mark. If you would like, as I said, to get the report, let me know, comment under this video or send me a direct message and we'll get it over to you. But more importantly, if you would like to get the assessment done for yourself or for the leaders in your organization, and I highly recommend it, then reach out to us via info@safiagroup.com or DM me and we'll arrange to get you on the calendar. All right. So guys, I trust this was very useful to you. Get the entire report. It's absolutely free and I would be doing a quarterly version. And again, what I'm also going to be doing, you're going to see, we also want to get the insights from the staff who report to leaders touting themselves as being good leaders, or even based on sometimes what they may have accomplished, but the people who are under them have a different story to tell. We want to be able to bring in that perspective into how we develop leaders. All right. So you're going to see more of those types of things also being rolled out. All right. So guys, reminder, register for AFET's event on Thursday. We're going to be talking more about my entrepreneurial journey and certainly get in contact with us for the report or to get your people assessed or to get yourself assessed. We have had clients who would have used the assessment to get promotions in work, to verify certain inherent traits within them that would be absolutely spot on for a particular position they were applying for. So we have those types of testimonials. Unfortunately, we are not very strong at putting out the kind of testimonials that we do get. We're hoping to improve that this year. But yeah, so I'm signing off, guys. I hope you have a great rest of the day. And I want to encourage you just to continue to power through. You are a power leader. Leadership is not always easy. You take responsibility for a lot of things and you carry a lot of the weight, and sometimes it feels unappreciated, much like a parent. But your leadership is critical. All right. And if it is you head an organization, I want to encourage you. While you have to get very specific training for your people, getting leadership training for your managers, for your executives, for yourself, for your board is going to make the world of difference. And it's going to carry a much higher return on investment than very specific functional training, which is also important. But leadership makes the biggest difference. All right. Signing off, guys. Have a great rest of the day.